Time travel is our gallery that takes you back in time through 3 different time periods in our ancient past, all the way up to almost current times. And we're taking those iconic parts of the museum, especially the iconic specimens, and bringing them forward and reimagining them into new, exciting scenes.
A really important number of steps that took us here was consultation with the community. This is not something that the museum or just the design team is doing in a silo. We are constantly having conversations with people.
And we still are working on it. The exhibit process is a very long, involved process. And there are 5 stages, and we are right now in stage 3. So we still have detail to put on these, but we wanted to make sure that people understood what direction we're going in, because it's an exciting time. We did a survey that said, what are your favorite exhibits in this museum as a baseline? And for kids, dinosaurs is always at the top. So that showed us we have to have a dinosaur exhibit.
When we looked at the Mesozoic period, we know that people are going to come for the dinosaurs. People love dinosaurs. And people love the current diorama experience that MPM has. So we really wanted to lean into continuing that story a little bit. This could almost be seen as a next journey in that diorama step. So we have these pterosaurs clashing. We also have a T-Rex lurking in the back, waiting for the loser of this fight to have a nice, delicious meal. And the dinosaur that is in the background of the current scene with the T-Rex is also in the background of this scene. We'll have sound effects that lean into that sense of rumbling and conflict. It isn't an experience that you just see. You can feel like you're part of the scene and not just watching it. We are taking the research that happens at this institute and we're highlighting that, but we're doing it in a dramatic way.
Recent knowledge tells us that a puncture wound in the pterosaur's huge crest was from another pterosaur. They were in a battle. So we are positioning the actual specimen with a fleshed out pterosaur so that you can really see and understand what we've learned from science. One of our premier collections is the Silurian Reef Collection. It's the geology of right under the ground, under the earth here. When this community was under a shallow sea of water and down near the equator. So anybody studying Silurian reefs comes to us for their research. So these are extremely important collections, and we look to those collections to design the exhibits.
The first time I came to this museum, one of the dioramas that really impacted me was the Silurian Reef diorama. Not just because it was gorgeous, but because it was very local to this place. So we really wanted to take that diorama and push it further.
What we want to be able to do is take that style of being able to peer into a different time and not just look at it through a pane of glass, but feel like you are entering that. As if you could be watching something on television and walk right through the screen and be in that scene. And not just in terms of what it looks like, but what it really feels like. There's something about that touch factor for people of all ages that impresses upon the memory and creates a more holistic experience. It's the things that you can touch, but it's also the things that you can do.
One of the first things that you'll see going into the Paleozoic Gallery is the Cambrian Trackway. It came out of a quarry in central Wisconsin, and it has this amazing set of little dots. These dots are actually tracks of some of the first creatures that came out of the water onto the land 500 million years ago. This is right now in our collections. And it's such a spectacular fossil that it should be on display. And so this new museum gives us the opportunity to bring it out and showcase it. It is so exciting to be building a new museum that shares that intersection of nature and culture. We are so connected to this planet, and the planet is connected to us.
In the Cenozoic period, we're really excited to take a look at the Hebrew mammoth and how we can put it into context and really understand the environment that it lived in, and actually highlight how humanity had a role in the Hebrew mammoth's fate. So we wanted to create this diorama that set the scene of how the Hebrew mammoth was possibly hunted by humans. Not only do we have that scene in large format, but we have a smaller scene in the front that shows how the mammoth was butchered after it was hunted. We also wanted to showcase the amazing creatures that lived during the period of the Hebrew mammoth. Being able to look at things like saber-toothed cats or giant tapirs. So being able to see how mammals filled in different niches and evolved over time is one of the key things we wanted to get across in this exhibit space.
One of the important approaches that we have is it's not just the display of objects, but it's sharing the knowledge, how we know what we know. With the Hebrew mammoth, it's looking really closely at that artifact and looking at the clues, looking at the evidence. What are those marks on the bones? How do we know it was butchered by humans? Sharing how we know what we know is a way of unveiling science and making it more accessible.
We really wanted to play with this idea of creating these scenes that people can get lost in and immersed in, that sort of will stick with people's memories. That's the magic, being able to create these moments that people can't forget.